Welcome back to Academic Reports in English. In our last lesson, we looked at one common pattern used in academic writing, the problem-solution pattern. In this lesson, we take a look at another useful way to organise your writing, the compare or contrast pattern. So let's get to it. Often, reports try to look at two topics and see how they are similar, that's compare, or different, which is contrast. For example, cities and the countryside, before and after, two products, two systems of government. There are two main ways that you can organise this kind of report. These are horizontally or vertically, and there are some specific words and phrases that are useful to know. Firstly, let's look at a report's overall organisation, or the order of topics that you write about. Imagine that you're comparing or contrasting the transport systems of two countries, in this case the UK, where I'm from, and Japan, where I live. You have to choose three topics, and for me, I've chosen trains, airports, and the motorway system. So let's jump into the computer to show this. There are two ways to organise such a report, horizontal and vertical. Let's look at horizontal first. It's called horizontal because it moves across from one topic to the next. Let's have a look. So here we have three topics, trains, airports and motorways. And we're comparing the three topics in two countries, Japan and the UK. So the first topic is trains, and what we'd like to do is talk about characteristics of trains in Japan, such as bullet trains, private companies and electric lines. And then we move across to the UK and compare a couple of characteristics such as franchising or diesel trains. Then we move on to topic 2, which is airports, and again we move across international hubs, domestic competition in Japan, and in the UK, the world's busiest airports and low-cost carriers. And finally, the third topic, motorways, we can compare Japan and the UK with toll roads and electric payments in Japan, and in the UK, payments are through road tax and there are very few toll roads. So you can see from the trace of the different topics that we've gone horizontally across. The second way to organise a contrast or comparison report is to use a vertical organisation. As you write, you move up and down instead of across, as in this example. So topic 1 is about Japan and topic 2 is about the UK. So for topic 1, we would write about Japan and talk about trains, and then we would move on to Japan and talk about airports. And then we'd move on to the third issue, which is of motorways. Then we'd move over to topic 2, which is to move to the UK, and again talk about trains, and then airports, and then motorways. And again, as with the horizontal organisation, you can see the different trace that is left by these different topics. Neither the horizontal structure or the vertical structure of organising your report is better, but which one you choose will depend on the topics that are in your report. In this case, I think a horizontal structure is more suitable, as there is a lot of detail to contrast and compare for each subtopic. Of course, you need to add an introduction at the beginning and a conclusion at the end, whichever structure you use. A second point about compare and contrast reports is that there are a lot of specific words and phrases that you can use in such writing. These are divided into comparison words and phrases, in which you want to show things as similar, and contrast words and phrases, where you show there are differences. In addition, these words and phrases can be between sentences, or they can be inside sentences. Let's jump back into the computer to have some examples. Here are some examples for comparison within a sentence. X is very similar to Y, X is like Y, X resembles Y, X is almost the same as Y, and X is the same as Y. And we can also do comparison between sentences using these words such as moreover, furthermore, in addition. Now moving over to contrast within a sentence. X is not similar to Y, X is unlike Y, X does not resemble Y, X is different to Y, X contrasts with Y. And also you could use these words such as whereas, or but, or although. And finally, moving on to the contrast between sentences, you can use these words such as however, on the other hand, in contrast. And just incidentally, the way in which I have organised talking about this useful vocabulary is actually vertically organised. In this lesson, we've looked at a common way to organise an academic report when you have to compare or contrast two or more issues. We introduced the vertical and horizontal ways of structuring your writing. We also suggested some words and phrases that can link your writing both from one sentence to another or within a sentence. In our next lesson, we take a look at formatting your report so it looks good. See you there.